Nobody expected Sophie Cunningham to look a reporter dead in the eye and say it again. Not soften it, not walk it back. Say it again, on camera, on the record, for ESPN. And what happened in the 60 seconds after might be the most talked about moment in the WNBA all year. Welcome back to Court Report. This is the show where we don't do the safe questions. We go straight at what everyone's whispering about and nobody wants to put their name on. Today, one player put her name on it in permanent ink. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why people are calling this response unprecedented for an active player in this league. Here's the headline before we even get into the tape. A reporter handed Cunningham the easiest off-ramp in sports media, practically invited her to walk it back. She didn't take it. She stood flat-footed and doubled down on every word about protecting women's sports from biological men. That's the moment. That's what we're breaking down today. Stay with me. So here's what actually happened. About a week or two before it aired, Cunningham sat for what looked like a routine ESPN sit-down. Then the tape dropped and it wasn't routine at all. The reporter went straight at her past comments on trans athletes in women's sports and asked her to expand. She didn't hedge. She called it common sense.
What I said, I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe.
She said protecting young girls in sport is something she's always believed. And she invoked Title IX by name, telling the reporter that without protections for the women's category, you don't get the history. You don't get the greats. You don't get any of it. Now pump the brakes with me for a second, because here's the part people keep skipping past. The reporter pushed back hard, basically telling her some people are going to hear this and feel targeted. This is where it gets interesting. Cunningham didn't get defensive. She said she extends love to everyone, that she's never once said she hates the trans community, that there's room in this world for everybody, and in the same breath, she said she's also there to protect biological women, and she's not backing off that. Two things held at once on the record, without flinching. Sources indicate this is exactly the exchange that's been clipped and replayed more than anything else out of that interview. Drop a comment right now, before you even finish this video, and tell me, is that a contradiction, or is that what real conviction actually sounds like? I want to see this debate happen in the comments, because it's already happening everywhere else online.
How do you, navigate a climate where whatever you say, people are going to say, well, this means you're automatically in this box or this label or that label, politically, morally, whatever?
I really don't care. I know that sounds bad, and I'm not trying to come off like that, but I do think, everyone always is coming at it as a negative. Well, me coming out with that, there's so many people who are coming out with the positive, saying, you know what, finally someone has said something, and I don't really look at either side of those, because I know whatever I say, I'm going to get hate and I'm going to get love. And if I'm going to live by the love, I'm going to die by the hate. And that's just not who I am. I beat to my own drum. And so people are always going to have something to say. You could win the championship. You could be the best at whatever it is. And there's still people who are going to hate on you. And so that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of
Here's
who I am.
where it
I'm happy
escalates.
being me.
The reporter asked her point talking about a tip-off. Here's the part that hits different. This is her home state. Here's the breaking point of this whole story. Cunningham isn't asking anyone to agree with her. She said it herself, she's going to get hate, she's going to get love, and she decided in advance she can live with both. In a league, in a sport, in a media environment where one wrong sentence can end a career overnight, she said the sentence anyway. Twice. On the record. Without blinking. For her, this isn't a talking point. She's treating the future of the women's category like it's an existential fight. Not a headline she can walk back tomorrow. That's the real story, not the game,